Hi guys, welcome back to Renpet Bath and Beauty's Kitchen. I am feeling better, which is a good thing. We are going to, as the title suggests, make our own melt and pour soap today. I'm going to see some remnants of some yellow coconut oil that I had used to make another loaf of soap, so just don't worry about that. It's just remnants. But anyway, I am going to give you guys some really good resources on making your own melt and pour soap. I only have to do this about once a year because I don't use melt and pour embeds very often, but I am going to have to make Under the Sea, which have mermaid tails in them, and I do that with melt and pour, and I am like completely out. I use the rest of my melt and pour for raspberry beret. So we're gonna make it today, and I'm gonna give you some really good resources down in the description box below. Mine is a shea butter base, but we're gonna go over all the steps and everything. So the first thing we need to do is hot process this. So I'm going to mix my lye. I haven't mixed my lye yet. Those of you who've watched me do hot process, you know I like it really, 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 really hot. So my oils are, oops, sorry, did I bump you? I'm sorry. My oils are 181. Let me step back from my lye. Get this all mixed in. But God, stand back, stand back. Feels like it's been a really long weekend. I had the kids this weekend. It was fun to have them, but it was definitely, it feels like a long weekend. They were just actually picked up not too long ago. Alright, I'm going to put my lye in there, and then we're going to get started. I like to get my hot process soap to a really, really thick trace. So I'll probably just skip ahead to my really, really thick trace, and I'll see you on the back side. Okay, guys, there's my thick trace. Oop! Hope I didn't just bump you again. Get this all here. And at this point, it should only take about 15 minutes for this soap to cook. So, well, I mean for it to gel, I should say, not to cook, because we have lots of other stuff to do to make it melt and pour, obviously. And I like using my own melt and pour, making and using my own melt and pour, because then I don't have to put all kinds of other stuff on my labels, you know, because you have to put everything that's in your soap on your labels. And I don't want to have to, you know, put all kinds of stuff on there that, you know, doesn't need to be there. So, alrighty, so now we just wait for this to volcano, which it looks like it's gonna do relatively quickly. It really does. Yep, oh, it does. It definitely does. So, yeah, the resources that are going to be in the description box below. When I first started making my own melt and pour, I used Bonnie at Good Earth Spa. Has a gorgeous melt and pour recipe. She also has an olive oil, all Castile based melt and pour recipe as well. I've never used that one, but you know, as a soap maker and a formulator, you want to try to figure out your own recipe and that kind of stuff. But during that whole time when I was trying to get my recipe right, I would use Bonnie's recipe to do all my melt and pour embeds. So it's kind of funny. It's a great recipe. I'm also going to link Kathleen Failer's book about transparent soap. I'm going to give you guys a link to that too. We're getting there, starting the volcano. And I'll tell you, I like to let my soap volcano for as long as possible. So if I have, you know, the space, which obviously I have the space in this crock pot to do, to let it just volcano and volcano and volcano, I will let it do that. Because the thing about volcanoing, For those of you who may not know or don't make hot process soap, or who aren't soapers at all, is volcanoing is what helps to cook that lye out faster. I love the way it looks too. It's just so cool how it just goes in on itself. And by the way, I stir and stir. A lot of people will tell you when you're making hot process soap not to stir. I stir a lot because I don't prescribe to that philosophy. But yeah, I'm just gonna let it go and give it a few minutes. Come on. I just like to look at it too. It's really cool looking. It's really cool looking. Alright, let's stir it down. Already in the late mashed potato stage. Alright. Let's put our lid back on there and let it volcano again. So how is everyone doing? I'm feeling much better. Obviously my breathing is probably better. I'm sure you can hear. I won't know until I edit the video, but I feel like my breathing is better. I'm actually able to speak like more than 3 words without being out of breath. So, yep, here we go. She's gonna start again. She's gonna start again. Come on. Come to mama. Come to mama. Oh, stay. I need my lid to stay on my sink. I do. I just think it looks so cool how it just goes into itself. Very, very cool. I don't know. We'll see how boring I am today and whether or not I'll fast forward to the end. How's that? Because believe it or not, I'm like not tech savvy and I don't know how to fast forward my stuff. It's just not tech savvy, I'm telling you. You're lucky I can edit the stick blending out, y'all. Okay, there we go. The rest of it's about to go. Yay! My stuff usually only volcanoes, 3 times. Usually just 3. But we'll see how we go with this second time around. Come on. There's the other side going now. And by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, or anybody who does know, just a reminder, when you're making hot process soap, this is why you never walk away from it, because this could come like out of your crock pot and all over your counter in a heartbeat. I had made a hot process soap not too long ago, and literally 3 seconds after I was done stick blending, it started to volcano. And that's happened to me before too. Like when I first started making hot process soap, I had a big mess all over my counter. Come on. Let's go. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut till when it's gelled and then move on to the next step for you guys. Okay, we are fully gelled at this point. And it actually only took 12 minutes. What do you know? Okay, now, in order to make this soap, this soap, melt and pour soap, we have to add what are called solvents to it. And the first solvent that I add is propylene glycol. Propylene glycol is a high ethanol alcohol. It is food grade, the one that I use. Some people will use isopropyl alcohol. Some people will use like a high grain like liquor alcohol. It just depends on the person making it. I prefer the propylene glycol. So we're gonna put that in there. And I have 3 to add to here. Now, when you make homemade melt and pour, you know, when you buy store-bought, it's clear. You know, and this technically is a, you know, this would be considered my clear, but it will not be crystal clear like you would get when you buy it store-bought. But it takes color very well, and once we're done with all of this, it'll probably be tomorrow, because I have to make the mermaid tails anyway. I will show you how it takes color and all of that kind of stuff. I'll show you how it melts down and, you know, the whole nine. So I just want to mix this in pretty good. It also isn't clear because, you know, I use shea butter and I use cane sugar in one of my solvents, and cane sugar is not white, so it gives it more of a, I mean, it's still transparent, but alright. Now my second solvent is a vegetable glycerin, which is right here underneath, y'all. Okay, let me grab it, get rid of this plastic. And I don't heat my vegetable glycerin when I pour it in there. Oh, thick, 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 thick. I mean, you can, absolutely, because, you know, it thins out once it's warm, but I put an extra ½ ounce in here because, well, you know, it's so thick. Can't get it all. Not ½ ounce, I'm sorry, 0.5. ½ ounce. No, Celine, it wasn't ½ ounce. Alright, and I'm going to stir this in. And then the last solvent we are going to use, and we can get all of these little, like, flakies. You know how when you make, oh, I need a hot pad, that would be helpful. When you make hot process soap, you don't want all the little crunchies on the side. Well, when you're making melt and pour soap, it doesn't matter. You can get all those little crunchies if you so want, and I so want. Okay. Alright, let me get my last solvent and then we'll go over what's happening. So this last solvent is simple syrup. And simple syrup is, however, it's equal parts sugar and, well, in this case, distilled water. You see how dark that is? It's because I made it with cane sugar. Okay, and then we stir this in, like so. Now, all these little bumps and, you know, all this stuff right here, now we have to let this melt. So I will leave my crock pot on high and let all of this melt. This process can take a few hours. I check on it, like I'll go upstairs after I do these dishes. I'll go upstairs and I'll set my timer for 30 minutes, and I check on it every 30 minutes. And the first couple of times I'll bring you guys back so you can see the progress of it. And then, of course, when it's all done, we'll pour it into a mold together. So, alright guys, oh, and I won't have to be wearing gloves anymore after this either. So, just so y'all know, because now it's soap. So, alright guys, I will see you in a few. It's been actually about 45 minutes because I had to, like, get dinner together and whatnot. So, here we go. Now, we're going to have a skin on it. You see that? So what we're going to do is we're going to break that skin up and get that all down in there. And as a crock pot gets hotter too, all these little pieces are going to fall in there. So what we ultimately want is for most of this, you know, like the skin that formed, we want most of that to be gone. So I'll bring you back one more time because I'm like right in the middle of making this and making dinner. I probably won't be back down here for another hour, so it'll be a big difference in the way that the skin looks. So yeah, I'll bring you back once all of that is done. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so we're back. And look at that, it's almost melted, guys. Almost melted. Yep, just got a little bit of a skin on there. So yeah, I'll bring you back when we're ready to pour it in. I don't know if I already said that already. It's been a busy day for me. So yeah, which will probably be after dinner. I am going to turn my heat down because, like I said, I'm about to eat dinner. So I will turn it down to low. Actually, I'm going to turn it to warm because I'm going to have to take this out of the crock anyway to be able to pour it into the mold. I don't like to pour it in when it's scalding hot, but it needs to stay in there for a little bit longer. So I will see you when we pour. Bye-bye. Okay, let's check the temp on it. I took it out of the crock pot, or the pot out of the crock out of the pot, whichever way. Now, this stuff that's not melting down completely is normal. There's different ways that you can deal with it. The last video I showed you guys how I make melt and pour. I stick blended this to help to break it up some. My stick blender's clean. I'm not too worried about it. Now, a lot of people, before they put their melt and pour in their mold, they will strain. They'll put a sieve over their mold to get that stuff to not be in there. However, I am a one-person show. So I just go ahead and alcohol my mold, and this is not that hot. And because I'm a one-person show, holding this, ooh, my glasses are getting all fogged up. I like to scrape out, as much of the soap as I possibly can. And all those little floaty, all those little bits, they're gonna stay on the top of your soap. So what I like to do, let me spray it get the bubbles down. See how they're all sticking up at the top? You could take a spoon or a fork and you could grab them out of there, like so, if you so wanted. I'll take a little bit of them out of there. Or you can wait until your soap sets up, which I usually do. And I have one of those old-fashioned, like, cheese grater, or not cheese grater, cheese peeler thingies. And I'll just take the surface of the soap off, and then I use it from there. So what's going to happen is I'm going to, because it's, the evening, I'm going to go ahead and let this sit overnight. And tomorrow I will go ahead and make my mermaid tails. Obviously I'm not going to make them all with you because I have a ton to make. I'm going to make some mermaid tails with this loaf of melt and pour so you can see how it colors, how it melts down and sets back up, all that kind of stuff. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hi guys. Guess what? My power is out. So we're gonna do this without power. I have to do this melt and pour the old-fashioned way. Let me grab a knife. Because, yeah, I have no microwave. They said it's gonna be on about 10. I don't even know what time it is because, I just looked over at my stove. That was just ridiculous of me. Okay, so let's unmold this. Unmold. Fairly simple. Oh, my water is boiling. Oh, there goes my flashlight, or my little light there. I'm trying to make it not too dark for you guys. But it just slid down. There we go. Alright, I forgot my little cheese thing downstairs, but I'm going to have to do this in my double boiler. We are not making mermaid tails. And the reason we are not making mermaid tails is because I realized that I have to make apples. I gotta take the top of this off because remember we had all that yuck on the top that we have to peel off, which is just like So, I have to make apples for a soap I have to make tonight. But again, I'll be doing this in my double boiler. So you will be able to probably see the finished product. I will when the lights come back on and I'm ready to make that other soap. I'll show them to you in this video, and of course you'll see them in the other video as well. Let me put this in the double boiler. It's a good thing I don't have an electric stove, right? It's gonna take a lot longer this way, y'all. But yeah, you just cut it up like normal, melt and pour. And I'll bring you back. Hopefully there's enough light. If not, I will link my other video when I made malt and pour last year for you guys. I'm sorry, I'm really scattered because I have so much work to do. I have, 12 soaps to make in the next 2 days, and now my electricity is off. Can't run my stick blender, can't do nothing. You know how it goes. So anyway, but yeah, we're going to make apples. We're going to make green apples and red apples. I need 20 of each because I have to make 2 loaves. I'll remember the time, which you'll have already seen by the time you see this video. Alright guys, I'll come back when that's all melted and I can get color in it. Okay, I have my camera's light on, so hopefully that helps. So I'm going to start with my green. And I'm going to stir it in. That was mixed with alcohol. See how pretty? And as you could see, it wasn't perfectly clear, and I told you before that it would not be. Oh, name alcohol. Alcohol's important. I spray my mold. And then I'm just going to pour like you ordinarily would. Oh, up. Yeah, like I ordinarily would, good over pour. Because that's what I do. And I'll be making red apples as well. Like I said, I need 20 of each. Because I'll be making 2 loaves of each. 1 loaf for me, 1 loaf for Amanda. Oh, oh, oh. Look at this. I'm making a big, huge mess, you guys. Okay. Well, at least, you can save that soap that's missing. Alright, so I am going to let this set up, and yeah, so that's my melt and pour. And again, I'm still going to link the other video in the description box, and you'll see these apples soon enough. Bye.